Hey guys, it's me, Jessica. So today I wanted to talk about the Ruby Franke story and how it was about last week. She got picked up on 6 charges of aggravated child abuse, and then her business partner also got picked up on 6 charges of aggravated child abuse. And 3 of the kids were actually at Jodi Hildebrant's house. Um, and they had been duct taped on their arms, duct tape on their ankles. They had open wounds all over their body. And these are the 2 younger ones, the 10-year-old and the 12-year-old. And the 12-year-old is the one who actually was able to break free from the duct tape, and I believe he hopped out of a window and ran about a block up to one of the neighbors' houses asking for water and food, and then asked the neighbor to call the cops because his sister and I believe 2 sisters were over there, still detained at Jodi Hildebrand's house. So I also found the 911 call. So I'm gonna play a little bit of what happened with Ruby, and then I want to play a clip of the 911 call where the man who called in, he gets when he starts talking about the little boy and how he had been taped up and had open wounds. He kind of gets a little emotional on the phone, and you can hear it in his voice. And then you can also hear his wife in the background, kind of helping the little boy. But this story is just really messed up, and it's just a messed up story.
This is 41-year-old Utah-based Mormon mom of 6, Ruby Franke. You might recognize her, especially if you're a mom. Ruby's claim to fame is as a YouTube momfluencer, but not your typical enrichment, activity planning, weekly dinner prepping, warm and fuzzy type. Ruby ran a family channel called 8 Passengers that at one point had 2.2 million followers, and it followed her family's everyday lives, including her very strict, often controversial parenting style. For years, critics have taken issue with Ruby's seemingly severe, sometimes cruel antics, often accusing her of child abuse.
And my kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done. Boston, get in line.
I'm first.
You get back there. Get in line. Now go back to the back of the line. We're going to put a pillow and a blanket by the toilet, and you can camp out in the bathroom, okay? The fact that I yell at my kids is a secret. You took your lashing very well.
I had just had Russell, and Julie was just crying a lot and whiny, and one day I looked at her and I'm like, you just stink. She had like peed her pants or something, and it was just because she was being neglected, because I was totally paying attention to the new baby.
Last week, Ruby was arrested for allegedly starving and neglecting her children. Now, before I get into the details about the criminal accusations against Ruby Franke, just a content warning here, they are disturbing. It's important to get a feel for the type of parenting that Ruby promoted. Now, as I mentioned, Ruby ran a popular YouTube page with millions of followers. Her videos chronicled her life as a mom alongside her husband Kevin and their 6 kids: Sherry, Chad, Abby, Julie, Russell, and Eve. Now, Ruby would probably call her parenting strict, but based on the videos I've watched, I would describe her style as, well, sadistic.
I went around the house, and I have
throwing them away.
Yes.
That's my homework.
Whoa, whoa. Oh, whoa. You have something in the bag that you would like out. You can pay cash for it. So you learn the value of your items. Or you can give what? Dad, I'll let you take the conversation from here.
You can do an equivalent value chore to get it back.
What's it?
And whatever isn't claimed by the end of the day goes in the garbage.
The 8 Passengers page first shot to fame in 2015, and from very early on, critics accused the Frankes of abusing and exploiting their children and then profiting off of that abuse. Ruby not only defended her parenting, but she kept on sharing disturbing video after disturbing video for 7 years. Now, according to a report from NBC News, Child Protective Services were called to the family home following a disturbing set of allegations that were leveled in a Change.org petition that was created by a viewer back in 2020. The petition was specifically set up to alert CPS and claimed that Ruby had sent one son to a harsh behavior camp and another allegedly had his bed removed as a punishment and was forced to sleep, quote, on the floor for 7 months on a beanbag solely because he teased his brother. Now, Ruby and her son reportedly detailed all of this in a video which was later removed. Now, that same year, Ruby posted another troubling video detailing how her then 6-year-old daughter Eve went hungry because Ruby refused to bring her lunch to teach her a lesson. Now, all the Frank children are responsible for packing their own school lunches, even the young ones, and that day Eve had forgotten hers.
Because I know that her teacher is uncomfortable with her being hungry and not having a lunch. And it was
The little girl Eve is 6 years old, so she's supposed to wake herself up in the morning, get herself dressed, make her own lunch, and remember to bring everything with her. But the older daughter, I can't remember what her name is, she is the one who actually mothers the younger kids. And I don't remember if it's in this clip or not, but it shows the older daughter getting the little one Eve ready and like buttoning up her shirt and helping her in the bathroom before they leave for school. But it's just ridiculous that this woman thinks that a 6-year-old is supposed to wake themselves up, make their own lunch, and then pack it, put it in their backpack, and not remember it. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
would ease her discomfort if I came to the school with lunch. But I responded and just said, Eve is responsible for making her lunches in the morning, and she actually told me she did pack a lunch. So the natural outcome is she's just going to need to be hungry. And hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch.
Apparently, threatening to withhold food and nourishment was a common punishment technique. Several TikTokers have actually compiled plenty of clips from the 8 Passengers page showing examples of this.
Torturing him, stop it. I know you're not, but it looks like you are. Okay, Russell. I'm only going to say it one more time, and then you're going to lose the privilege to eat dinner.
Ruby also seemed to engage in what I would call bullying, for lack of a better term. According to NPR, at one point, she actually threatened to cut the head off of one of her kids' teddy bears. Oh, that's just mean. In early 2022, though, Ruby stopped uploading content to her page, and around the same time began appearing in videos with her business partner, Jodi Hildebrant, on her supposed mental health curriculum page called Connections Classroom. Shortly before 11 a.m. on August 30th, police arrested both Ruby and Jodi Hildebrant on multiple charges of aggravated child abuse. But the arrest came after a call came in about a child in need of help. The caller told authorities that the juvenile was asking for food and water. And according to a probable cause affidavit, Franke's 12-year-old son climbed out of the window of Jodi Hildebrandt's home and ran to a neighbor. Police said that he appeared emaciated with open wounds and duct tape on his wrists and ankles. Investigators said the child's condition was so severe that he was immediately transported to the hospital. A second child in the home, 10-year-old Eve, was also found by police, malnourished and in the same condition as her brother. She too was taken to the hospital. In total, 4 minor children were discovered in the home and subsequently placed in the care of Child and Family Services. Now, when news broke of Ruby Frank's arrest, several of her longtime critics took to social media to express their relief. In fact, Ruby's eldest daughter, Sherry, was among those seemingly rejoicing in her arrest. The 20-year-old took to social media with a post of her mom being taken into custody with the caption, "Finally." She added, "Today has been a big day. Me and my family are so glad justice is being served. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Please keep them in your prayers and also respect their privacy." Ruby Franke's 3 sisters, who are also all YouTubers, released a joint statement saying that Ruby's arrest needed to happen and that they had done all they could for the last few years. As for Kevin Franke, Ruby's husband and the father of their 6 children, he spoke out through his attorney, denying any knowledge of the abuse. Here's what his lawyer said on Cuomo.
Mom had the kids for the summer and went out of the county with the kids. And if he had known of or thought there was abuse going on, he would have been all over it. It happened in a house that was a couple of 100 miles away from where Mr. Franke was.
But through her YouTube page, millions of people have seen exactly what kind of mother Ruby Franke proudly proclaimed herself to be. Now, last week, YouTube removed both the 8 passengers page as well as the Connections Classroom page.
Okay, now here is the 911 call, and I'm not going to play the whole thing because some of it, there's like spaces where they bleep it out, and then there's like longer sections where it's just kind of silent while the man is.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house, and we know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated, he's got tape around his legs, he's hungry, and he's thirsty.
Okay. Is your door locked?
No, I'm sitting outside with him on the front patio.
Okay, cool.
And he asked us to call the police.
What's
So
your
he's
name?
very afraid. What's your last name? He's 12 years old. Yes.
Okay. And can you ask him his date of birth?
Can you tell me your birthday?
Okay. And are the neighbors out of their home, or is anybody looking for them that you can see?
No. Our homes are far enough away. I'm not sure. How did you get out of the house?
Porch. He went out.
He says he just left through the porch at the neighbor's house. Her name is Jodi Hildebrant, and she lives 2 doors up the street.
Out here in Cayenne, the houses are far apart.
Yeah, out here in Cayenne, the houses are far apart, so he walked just under the block to get to our house. He rang my doorbell and asked me to call the police.
Does he seem to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
I don't think so, but he's very thirsty.
Need an ambulance?
I don't think he needs an ambulance. I'll let the cops decide that, but his ankles are taped up, and he won't tell us why.
Okay.
But he has duct taped around each ankle. Yeah, there's sores around them. I think there's a good chance he's been... Oh, and he has them around his ankles. I mean, his wrists as well. Okay, this boy has been... He needs... This kid has obviously been... I think he's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds.
Okay. Let's get the paramedics headed over that way, okay?
Oh, that's a good idea, too.
Let's see. Has he told you where his mom or dad are?
Haven't asked him that. Yeah. You know where your mommy and...
I really got these ones.
Yeah, I'm sure that doesn't matter, son. Do you know where your mom and dad are?
Well, actually, I don't know where my mom is, but I do know where my dad is. He's not anywhere here.
Really don't know.
Nowhere here.
Okay. No, he doesn't seem to. He says he knows where his mom is, but...
He doesn't know where his dad is.
That's correct.
I do know where my dad is.
Is his mom home?
He doesn't live
He just says he doesn't live around here.
Okay. Is his
Yeah,
mom
we're
in this
getting...
area?
Is your mom around here? Have you seen her lately?
No,
He doesn't know where she is right now.
Does he know his mom's name?
What's your mom's name? Ruby Franke? Ruby Franke is his mom's name.
Okay. How do you spell the last name?
Franke.
Franke.
The saddest part is the boy is about to tell the old man that the reason he's in trouble with the duct tape is basically it's his fault. The reason he's been starved and malnourished, and it's just sad.
Okay. And does she live in the area?
No, I'm not sure where she lives. He's trying to help us, but he's...
That's okay. We don't want to stress him out too much. The officers will go over all these questions with him anyway. I just want to stay on the phone with you until we get some help there, okay?
Yeah,
What's your name?
My name is...
Okay. Can you ask him if any other children were in the home he came from?
Okay. Was there any other kids up at Jodi's house? Anybody else? No. How old? Yeah, this is the 30th of, or excuse me, the 29th of August.
It'll be the 30th of August.
10 and 14, and they're still at this house.
Are they tied up as well?
What's the deal with? Are they being held? Do they have wounds on them as well?
Nothing bad going on with us.
Okay.
It's just
Okay. So they're able to walk around the house and everything.
everything.
Well, okay. He says everything's fine with them. Grain of salt.
Okay.
He says what's happened to him is his fault.
That's not a problem. That's sad to hear. They're coming to you as quick as they can, okay?
Okay,
You're
yeah.
doing really well.
Yeah,
I just want to make sure.
He's fine. I've got him sitting here. My wife, he got him water and giving him something to eat because he's hungry, and I think the young man, he's hearing his stocking feet. So he escaped.
Well, I'm glad that he was able to make it to
They're on their way.
so he could be safe. They should just be pulling up now. Let me know when they're with you, okay?
Will do. I hear a car, but they're not.
Okay, so I'm gonna end it with a small clip from the husband of Ruby, so the dad of all the kids, and how he denies knowing anything about any of the abuse that's going on. I guess they're separated right now. I'm not sure how long they've been separated, but he claims that he had no idea that there was any kind of abuse going on to any of the kids, and his lawyer had mentioned that had he known, he would have taken the kids away from her, which I really, it's hard for me to believe that you didn't know there was nothing going on, because the allegations against Ruby have been going on for years. Apparently, like, people have been trying to get CPS to step in for years, and they've been doing petitions and all kind of things to get somebody to do something. So it's just hard for me to believe that the husband had no idea about any of it. And I'm just curious if they're going to eventually charge him as well, or if it's just going to be Ruby and Jodi. But she goes to court on Friday this week, so we'll do another video Friday and kind of touch bases on what happens there and see how that goes. But don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.
And the latest on the parenting influencer accused of child abuse, the lawyer for the husband of Ruby Franke sat down with ABC News, telling his client's side of the story of his wife's arrest. Kana Whitworth is back with that. Good morning again, Kana.
Hey, Michael, good morning again to you. Now, Kevin Franke's lawyer says that Kevin and Ruby had been living separately for the last 13 months, and that Kevin's main objective right now is to follow the court's lead and do what's best for his children.
Kevin and I have decided that we are going to give the gift of truth to them.
This morning, with popular parenting YouTuber Ruby Franke facing 6 felony counts of child abuse, her husband Kevin, seen here in one of Ruby's many social media videos, now fighting to clear his own name.
He's a good person. He's very gentle. He's a very gentle guy, and no one's ever made any allegations that he's ever physically abused those kids or anyone else.
His lawyer telling ABC News that Kevin's main objective is the safety of his kids.
He just wants to do what's best for his kids, get them back, get them under his tutelage and his fathership, and protect them.
Kevin shares 6 children with Ruby, who became YouTube famous for dishing out sometimes controversial parenting advice.
So up until now, I was really hoping that keeping them home from school and wiping the floorboards would really bring pain.
The pair had been separated and living in different homes for the last 13 months. Kevin's lawyer says he's distraught at how the allegations have impacted his family. In a since-deleted video from her YouTube, Ruby's sister Bonnie says family members tried to intervene.
We all did as much as we could legally, and you don't know what you don't know.
Ruby arrested last week after authorities say her 12-year-old son escaped through a window, running to a neighbor's home pleading for food and water. The neighbor describing him in a phone call to police as emaciated and malnourished with open wounds. Court docs also describing deep lacerations from being tied up with rope. Police say they also found Franke's 10-year-old daughter malnourished. Those details are hard to hear. We reached out to the Department of Children and Family Services, which says it can't comment on any case specifically. Ruby, of course, will be in court this Friday. And you guys, she hasn't entered a plea yet.